You brought scotch to the studio, and I have my red wine over here. But you once told me that you love red sweet wines.
Yes.
You described them as super sexy. And you said you drink white wine when you're feeling bougie.
Yeah.
You are now listening to Marketing Over Wine, a podcast where I chat with the marketers behind the companies and the campaigns you see in the world today. They share everything, how they got into marketing, the strategies and the tools that they use, how they charge for their services, and the mistakes and successes they have made in their career. Each episode is unfiltered and a masterclass, so come join us. I am your host as always, Olawumi Olaniyi. Alright everyone, welcome to another episode of Marketing Over Wine. Today I have Praise Ojekudo, popularly known as Nkem. So I have Praise joining me to share a marketing career journey. But before she shares her story, here are some things to know about her. Nkem is a B2B SaaS content marketer and copywriter. And in the last 2 years, she has worked with companies across health, finance, Web3, and education. And more recently, she niched down to help SaaS healthtech companies connect deeply with their audience and build long-term loyalty and trust. Thank you for joining me today, Nkem.
Thank you, Nee, for having me. This is such an honor.
I know you were pretty nervous about doing this, but hooray, here you are. And you had probably half of Twitter sending in their support from the tweet you put out.
Yes, I did. And I mean, like, it made everything better. It made me feel so much better, less anxious, given that this is my first time.
Yeah.
I loved the support that I got from my community.
Well done. Well written for you.
Thank you.
All right, let's start from the very beginning then.
Okay.
You studied microbiology as your first degree, and 3 years later, you're at the University of Chester studying digital marketing. Let's talk about that in-between period between microbiology and marketing. What drew you to marketing within that period, and how did your journey in this field begin?
Thank you, Nave. So my first degree is in microbiology.
Yeah.
Before I finished school, before I finished microbiology, I knew that it wasn't something I wanted to do long term.
Okay.
Like most Nigerians, I didn't think I had that clarity then when I wanted to get into university. So
Yeah.
at that point in time, choosing microbiology was because, I wanted to go to the university. I wanted to leave the house. So fast forward to my final year in school, I started to panic and worry about what I was going to do after. And then the COVID period came, Corona, the lockdown. It was hell.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of, anxiety. There was a lot of worrying about what next, the next step for me. So after so much worrying and, thinking about what I wanted to do, I then went on Google, and I was like, okay, at that period there was nothing going on. I was always home, and I had a lot of time on my hands. So I thought to just check Google and see what I can keep myself busy with.
Okay.
So at first it was like, okay, let me check Google and learn a new skill or hone a skill that I already have.
Yeah.
So I checked for how I can be better at my communication skills, like speaking and writing. So a bunch of results came up. I then decided to start a blog.
Yeah.
And after starting the blog, it was mostly personal essays I was writing.
Okay.
And after a while, I found that I enjoyed it. I loved writing, putting out my work, even though the work was trashy at that time.
Okay.
But I mean, I got support, and people liked the idea of, putting myself out there. I had my community, I had my friends support me, my family.
Yeah.
And after a while, I just thought, let me try and see how I can make money from writing online.
Yeah.
So I went back to Google and browsed how can I make money with writing. Okay. So a bunch of results came up, and copywriting was one of the results. So I then started to learn copywriting.
Okay.
So from learning copywriting, I worked with my first client.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was kind of like a relationship I have had before that time.
Okay.
So I just reached out to them and said, oh, I'm currently learning this skill, and if you have any opportunities or you have anything you want me to handle for you, just reach out to me. And at that point in time, looking back now, they didn't need my help, but they still gave me a project.
Yeah, that's smart.
And that was my first project. That was the first time I was doing something for someone and they were paying me. Not something, that was the first time I was copywriting for someone, and I was being paid for it.
Okay.
And the rest just happened. From copywriting, I started to try other types of writing, and then I landed on content marketing. So now it was more than writing. It was like a bunch of other things joined together, and I just continued from there, exploring from one area to another, upskilling, and that was it.
Okay, well done. A quick thing to add, if you haven't subscribed yet and you love the content of Marketing Over Wine, please do so and share with all your friends. Now let's get back to the episode. Now, you mentioned that you had to go to Google to check how to write and get into copywriting.
Yeah.
What courses did you take during that period?
I took a business writing course on Coursera.
Okay.
Then I also took a course on HubSpot Academy.
All right.
And Future Learn as well.
Yeah. All right then. Now, recently, I noticed that you have developed a tag for yourself, and I absolutely love it. The empathy-driven marketer. I love that tag. But what does that mean for the work you do?
Okay, so I am a very empathetic person.
All right.
My EQ is like really high, and have been like this all my life, basically. So the health sector, especially the healthtech sector, mental health and mental health, personal development, fitness, all of those sectors are very personal to me because as an empath, I tend to feel a lot.
Okay.
I tend to be in other people's shoes a lot. And at a point, I used to feel like it was a curse.
Yeah.
Because I mean, sometimes I do not want to feel, but I just cannot help it. And recently, I've been thinking I wanted to do something that was a part of who I am, not just because I wanted to make money.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to enjoy what I do.
Yeah.
So the only way I can do that is doing something that
is connected to what you do.
Me, something that is connected. Do you get?
Yeah.
So being an empathy-driven marketer means that I'm able to use this very high emotional IQ that I have to connect with my clients, to connect with my clients' customers, to understand very deeply the market, the target audience, who I am selling to or who I am helping with my skills. And it just feels very natural, putting in the skill that I already have or the power that I know that I already have as somebody that has a lot of empathy. And it just stuck. I saw it online and then it struck me, and I'm like, I mean, this is who I am and this is what I want to do. Yeah.
Do you feel like that gives you an edge in your marketing, in connecting with customers?
It does, because a few days ago I was telling someone that marketing is psychology.
Yeah.
And psychology is understanding
human behavior and the feelings.
The feelings, knowing why something happens the way it does, knowing why someone acts the way that they do.
Yeah.
And getting the reasons behind everything. And if you do not know your customer, there's no way that you can sell to them. There's no way you can help them.
True.
It's like you need to know someone well enough to know how you can come into their lives. And there's no way that you would have a product or a service and push it down people's throats.
Yep.
You want to know that they need it. You want to know why they need it.
Yeah. I'm likening it to the talking stage presently. It's like a talking stage where you're getting to know them and they have to like you first, or they have to trust you first before a relationship can begin.
Exactly. There has to be this familiarity, a relationship. I mean, you don't go on the internet and tell everybody your business. You only talk to your close friends.
Yeah.
And you can't obviously accept stuff from just anybody. There has to be like a relationship.
Yeah.
And you can't even support people when you feel like maybe we're in a very transactional world.
Yeah.
The way it is, you need to make me feel like, you have my back. I mean something to you, and in return I can buy what you're selling, or be your friend, or support you too.
I was recently telling someone that humans are innately selfish. I think we run away from that tag, because when someone tells you you're selfish, it feels like a very big deal. It feels like a bad thing. The person is abusing, in quotes. But naturally, I feel humans are selfish, and it's normal. We look out for someone who has our best interest at heart. If something does not necessarily benefit you, whether now or in the long term, you will not really put that much effort into doing it. And
true.
Yeah, it's the same thing with marketing.
Yeah.
Moving from that, Christmas just ended. New Year just ended. And you put out a tweet that you had to spend this was the first Christmas you had to spend alone.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
So imagine that you are gathered with family. You have your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, your grandma, everyone around. There is a 99% probability, being from a Nigerian family, that they are bound to ask, what do you do? Nkem, what are you doing presently? So how would you explain content marketing for SaaS health tech companies in layman's language? Imagine you're explaining to your grandma.
Okay. So I've had to explain what I do to my mom severally.
Okay.
She has asked me, I've explained. She has asked again, I've explained.
Yeah.
But the last time that a family member asked me what I did. So a SaaS content marketer, right?
Yeah.
Is someone that sells a product or a service to the people that need it,
okay.
Customers or clients or whoever needs it, basically. So SaaS content marketing for health tech, I'm going to break it down in this way.
Please go ahead.
So SaaS, software as a service, is cloud-based,
Yeah.
So what this means is you have data, information, all of it stored on the cloud, and you can easily access it by just either installing or downloading an app.
Okay.
So for health tech, this product, you can say, does the functions of health personals. For instance, my favorite app, which is an app that I use nearly every day, is a yoga app.
Okay.
So the yoga app, the yoga app for me is kind of like a yoga instructor that helps me do yoga every day. And I do yoga every day.
Wow.
Or every other
That's
day.
dedication.
Because it helps me mentally.
Okay.
Yoga is something that helps me relax, helps me with my balance in life. It helps me with my mental well-being. It's kind of the things that I am able to take care of myself with. So using that as a case study right now, or as an explanation, if I were to market for the yoga app, which is a SaaS product, mind you, the product is in the health sector, and it's tech, obviously. So I would sell that product, which is the yoga app, to yoga enthusiasts like me. And I will sell it in different ways on different platforms. First of all, marketing's research, you need to know who you're selling to. So what I do, my job as a health tech SaaS content marketer is that I create content to sell that product, and I create the content in a way that it resonates and it relates to the people that I'm trying to sell it to. And I reach out to them on the various levels that they are at. It was what is known as the buyer's journey. I reach out to them on the different platforms that I know that they frequent. I try to find out what it is that they want from the product. And then I put out content to show them that, you know what, this is the problem that you have, this is what you expect from this product, and this is how this product can help you. So basically, I'm putting out educational content to teach you, or to teach the customer that the product that the problem that they are facing, this product can help them, and this is how this product can help them. And it doesn't even end behind them. Content marketing for health tech shows you that this is how your life would be while you are using this product and after you have used this product.
Yeah.
So basically, it's just my job is to help the company reach who they are selling to and make sure that the people that they're also selling to get a clear understanding of what they are going to get from the product. Because once they get a clear understanding, they are able to now invest their money or their time in the product.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for explaining that. Now, speaking of which, you once mentioned that content marketing is more than writing. You said that content marketing helps to drive sales, increase customer relationships, and even domain authority, and several other benefits. How do you personally use content to drive more sales, build customer relationships, and increase domain authority?
For my clients or for myself?
For your clients.
Okay. So to drive sales, I like to think of content marketing as a knowledge base. Each piece of content that you put out depends on the goal that you're trying to achieve or the goal that the company is trying to achieve. So for sales, you want to put out content that guides or that teaches the target audience. You want to address the audience pain points and showcase how the product can solve their problems.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, if the customer has no idea what the product is about or the features or the benefits of even using that product or how to even use that product, there's no sale. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So I need to put out content in a way that it gives all the information so that they are aware of what they want and convinced to go for it. Then there's also crafting an engaging narrative that doesn't only highlight the features but also tell like success stories and shows the benefit of using the tech product.
Yeah.
So I explain. Tech is it can be complex. There are a lot of tech jargons.
Yeah.
There are a lot of industry slangs and trends and all of that. And the ordinary customer doesn't care about that. They don't know that.
Yeah.
So to drive sales, I mentioned creating a knowledge guide or base where you can carry your customers along, giving them all the right information. Then for the second is crafting an engaging narrative. So the features from the product that obviously needs to sell to the customer. But then you don't want to go and tell your customer, let me find the simplest example. You don't want to just say we have a sleep management feature. Okay, and so?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about how managing one's sleep schedule can make them feel.
Yeah.
How having a healthy sleep routine, what that can do for their well-being or their productivity. So yes, you have you have a feature on your app that manages that. You first want to lead with the benefits. You first want to show the person that this is what you get from having a good sleep routine, and we can help you get a good sleep routine when you use this feature. So all of that, educating the customer, is all about, I think mostly SaaS content is just giving a lot of information, the right information at the right time and in a very clear manner.
Okay.
That in turn would bring up sales. Then you talked about building customer relationships.
Yeah.
So like you said earlier, people are selfish.
Yeah.
People are selfish. So you want to build a relationship in a way that they are getting something from you and you are getting something from them. In this case, my clients are getting the money from them. And in turn, we are the client or the company, the organization is sharing valuable insights, tips, industry trends, literally anything that can help the customer live better. Because all the explanation I'm giving in the sense of health tech.
Okay.
So we're giving tips, we're giving insights, we're giving industry trends, literally anything that would make the customer's life so much better, increase increase their well-being and knowledge in self and health.
Yeah.
Then mentioning that tech can have a lot of jargons and a lot of industry slangs that customers do not understand. You want to break down those ideas, those complex ideas. You want to break them down to a very easy, relatable way. So content in SaaS health tech shouldn't be a sales pitch.
Yeah.
I know that we're trying to like sell a product, or we're trying to sell a service, or we want them to subscribe or to, sign up for a free trial and all of that. But I mean, imagine somebody always wanting to sell to you. You won't buy. It will be annoying.
Yeah.
You will run. Somebody was trying to sell me something on LinkedIn, and first of all, they came on to me very strong. I knew they wanted to sell, and then when it finally came out that they were selling, I was irritated. I was annoyed. I didn't give them that attention. So SaaS content marketing, to build customer relationship, you need to know that your content isn't just a sales pitch. It's a bridge that connects your brand with your audience on a more personal level.
Yeah.
So on a more personal level means you're, weaving in stories, you're weaving in this relatable narrative. It feels like a person talking to another person, not a person talking to a business, because even behind the business are people.
Yeah.
And businesses don't sell to people. People that run businesses sell to people. So
that's deep. All right. Earlier on, you mentioned that you're an empath.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you are big on mental health.
Yeah.
So let's get away from marketing for a little while. Shout out to everyone trying to prioritize their mental health in this world filled with toxicity and creativity.
Yeah.
For you, what are your best mental health tips, specially created for marketers?
I love this one extra.
Okay.
Because I am always looking for ways to find balance in life, because like you said, it's very chaotic.
Yeah.
So these are things that I know over time have continued to work for me. So I have 5 things here, 5 mental health tips, specially created for marketers. Number 1 is set realistic goals.
Okay.
This is it sounds like a simple tip, but it's really not. Set realistic goals in the sense that if you're like me, marketers feel like they can handle the world.
Yeah.
They want to do everything.
Uh-huh.
It gets overwhelming when you have so much to do and you don't have the right plan, or
little time and little resources.
Little resources and no plan. So set realistic goals.
Yeah.
You have a list of things you want to do. You have a list of goals you want to achieve.
Yeah.
First of all, ask yourself, before you put together a long to-do list, how do you intend to cross those tasks off that list or to meet that goal?
Okay.
What are the things that you need to reach that goal, and how long would it take you to reach that goal? When you think about the resources, the tools, the people that you also need, when you think about all of those things, you'll be able to filter the goals, and you'll be able to set aside everything that you need to reach that goal. So that's it on setting realistic goals. This is so that you are not overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Because I don't do well when I'm overwhelmed.
Same.
And I don't think anyone does either. So you want to prioritize your energy, prioritize your focus, and set realistic goals.
Okay.
Then the second is take breaks and downtime.
Yeah.
This is so important because as somebody that has their mind working 24/7, overtime, non-stop, you need to be intentional about slowing down.
Yeah.
So usually I would tell myself, you're clocking into work right now and you're going to clock out. Because you can clock into work, do what you have to do, and you are still at it. You're still going. At what point in time do you close your laptop and do you say, you know what, I'm done for today? At what point? So you need to take breaks. Schedule. There's this app I use that helps me a lot. It's a Pomodoro timer.
Okay.
It helps me focus, and then it gives me time to also take breaks to either stretch or walk or do something else that is not in front of my laptop or that is not work related. So you want to clock in and out of work mode. Tell yourself that you know what, you are working for so and so time, and once you're closing your laptop, if you're someone like me that even if you've closed your laptop, you're still in front of your laptop, talk to yourself like a friend and tell yourself, you know what, I've done my best for today and I would have more time to get back to this tomorrow. But right now, I need to focus on other things to replenish my energy so that I can be more productive.
Yeah.
Because if you spend your time thinking about all the things that you couldn't do, then you start the next day with low energy. So yeah, take time, take breaks and downtime.
Okay.
Then the third one I would say is stay organized. Well, I am still learning this, but it is a very serious and important hack too, because systems are very important.
Yeah.
It helps you save time. It helps you be more effective. It helps you be more productive. So when you're organized, you're able to do better work.
True.
Use tools, create systems to keep your workload organized, because doing this will help you reduce stress and it will ensure that your tasks are manageable and your deadlines are realistic, and at the end of the day, happy with yourself. For this, I would say for tools that I use for this, Google Calendar and Notion.
Okay.
Then another tip is celebrate creativity, wins, and practice gratitude. I put all of this together because they're kind of like related. So by celebrate creativity, I would say as a marketer, because a marketer is a creative. I mean, you are putting together stuff, you're creating.
Definitely.
So you need to first be your biggest fan. So celebrate your work.
Yeah.
Nobody will write a hook like you. Nobody will write an introduction or a conclusion or even structure an article or a marketing ad like you. You are unique. Your creativity is unique to you. So no matter what you do, celebrate it. You took out the time and you have put that together, even though it needs iteration and feedback and all of that, but you're an artist. So celebrate your work.
Yeah.
Then celebrate your wins. It might be as little as writing that blog post, or by the way, writing a blog post is not little. But I mean, it can be anything, but just celebrate your wins and then practice gratitude. It is easy to always feel like you are lagging behind. It is easy to, look at what other people are doing and just tell yourself that, oh my God, I should be doing so much more. Or, oh, I was only able to write one post, or I have so much work, I have this deadline coming up, I'm tired, or so many things. But you need to be grateful for where you are. You have work, first of all. So you have work. So even though you have all these deadlines coming up, you have work. Thank God for that.
Hallelujah.
Be grateful for that. Then you have a skill. You are a marketer, and a marketer wears so many hats. You have all these skills combined in one. Be grateful that you have that.
Okay.
You can write, you can do strategy, you can do so many things. Be grateful for your role as a marketer, the company that you work with, or the value that you are bringing. Because at the end of the day, yes, you're a marketer, but the value that you bring is so much more than the title. It's so much more than the role. So be grateful for that. Practice gratitude as much as you can. Even if you have to try to make it a daily ritual by, writing or saying it to yourself, or, talking to people about it. Just try to practice gratitude. Then the last one is professional development. This is a mental health tip, because I find that I feel more fulfilled, accomplished. My confidence increases in myself when I'm constantly learning something new.
Okay.
Self-confidence, you can never ever just... It's very important. Self-confidence is what allows you sell yourself. It's what allows you go out with your head held up. It's what allows you contribute, and it's what allows you share your experience, because you know that you're constantly learning, you're constantly evolving. So you have experiences, you have a story to share. Unlike when you feel like you're in one place and you're stagnant, your self-confidence reduces, and there's no way that you'll be able to show up as your most authentic self, as your best self, when you don't even believe in who you are. So constant learning, constant development is it. So those are like my 5 mental health.
Your 5 top tips.
My 5 top mental health tips for marketers.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. You mentioned creativity, and rightly so. You said marketers are creative.
Yeah.
Sometimes creativity eats you when you're walking on the road. Sometimes it's when you are even in the bathroom. Sometimes it's when you are defecating in the toilet.
Yeah.
How do you keep track of all your creative ideas?
Okay. I'm just going to start by saying I have a very unhealthy relationship with buying notepads. I have notepads that I haven't even used.
Okay.
Stationary, but I would buy more. I go around with a pen and a notepad no matter where I'm going to.
Wow.
Because
I want to get to that stage, but I don't think it's for me.
I'm always just scribbling. Like I said, my mind is always working. So if I am not with my notepad or my pen, I use my notes app a lot. And if I'm not using my notes app, I send myself messages on WhatsApp.
Wow. All right.
Yesterday I was at work and something hit me. Something hit me for work, and I immediately went to my phone. I took up my WhatsApp and I recorded a voice note and just hit send.
Yeah.
Those are the things that I do. I have like ideas everywhere on my notepad, in my private chat with myself on WhatsApp, on Notion. I also store ideas on Notion as well. But I would say Notion for me is a more organized way of storing my creative ideas, because I can pull up Notion on my phone to, if at that point in time when the idea comes and I remember, I'll pull up Notion. But if I don't, I have my notepad if I'm in the mood to just write, because I actually prefer writing on paper than actually writing on, screen.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, I would say Notion is more organized because I mostly just gather everything that I have put everywhere at the end of the day and just drop it in my Notion. So now I am not looking at different places if I need to go back to that idea. Notion just stores everything for me. But yeah, that's how I am able to manage all my creative ideas.
All right then. You once tweeted, I think that was a while back.
You've been looking at my tweets a lot.
I've been looking everywhere. I would like to say we do our research, so it includes all your social media accounts, your LinkedIn.
I love it.
Your Medium. I found your Medium page too.
My goodness.
Everything.
Wow.
So you once tweeted that content marketers should share their analogies explaining the importance of creating the content marketing strategy. And everyone came with their different analogies back then. Some people likened it to going to war. If you don't have a content marketing strategy, you're essentially sending your soldiers to suicide. Something like that. Yeah. So let me throw it back at you. Now, this is a 2 questions in one thing. First question, what is your best analogy to explain the need to create a content marketing strategy? The second question, what is your process for creating one?
Okay, so I can remember either the tweet or the blog post or whatnot that I put out that analogy thing, but not a lot. But I would use this analogy right now: a road trip.
Yeah.
So say you want to go on a road trip. There are different things that you would first of all plan before you get out of your house and into your car and get on the road. You want to map out your route. You want to make a plan of all the sites that you want to see on that road trip.
Yeah.
You also want to make a plan on where you would stop while you are on the road trip, maybe to get supplies or to do whatnot. But you need to have all of this planned out because it's a road trip and you won't just leave your house and just be on the road. Like, where are you going
definitely. Except village people, they follow you, Shabo.
I mean, like, where are you going to? You need to have a direction.
Yeah.
And content marketing strategy is just like that. You need to have a goal. You need to have a plan. You need to know where you are going, what you want to do, how you want to do it, how you are even going to get there. There's a lot of planning, but planning plus research equals informed decisions. You don't just want to make decisions. You just don't want to make, you don't want to make decisions just because. You need to make a decision because you are looking to get something out of that decision. Yeah. So for content marketing strategy, now I want to talk about my process.
Okay, please do.
So before I create anything, before I put out any form of content, research.
Okay.
I research, just as you have researched me. I would research everything that I can lay my hands on, everything that I can have access to. I research the business that I'm creating content for.
Yeah.
I research the competitors of the business competitors. I research the clients, the customers that I want to help my clients reach. And in all of this research, I'm able to learn what the business is about. I'm able to learn what the competitors of this business or my clients, I'm able to learn what they are doing, what they aren't doing. I'm able to get inspiration and some sort of direction from the knowledge I get from that research. And I'm able to know the target audience so well that any content that I craft, any content that I put out isn't just falling to
headshots.
Yeah, do you get headshot? Like it just goes directly, it hits them. Because it's the only way that you minimize mistakes and wasting resources. For instance, you want to sell a toy bicycle. You're not going to sell it to a grown-up man.
Well, you can sell it to me, Shabo.
I mean, you know that you're selling it to a child and you want to know how the child will react to it. You want to send a message that would delight the child. You know, so there's a lot of research that goes into strategy. And again, you want to also put into consideration the goal of that content. So as much as you're doing all this research, you need to have at the back of your mind, yes, I'm doing all this research, but what is the main purpose? What's the goal of putting out a compelling message? What's the message I'm trying to pass? Or what's the one thing that I want the reader or the audience or the customer to do with this content? Strategy does that for you. And then strategy is something, again, that can help the company reach their goals, obviously, then stay consistent. And also, my process of doing strategy includes a time to reflect, or how would I put this? As much as strategy is concerned, it is not set in stone. Strategy can change. So there is room for gathering data. There's room for analyzing all that data, all that information. And that's it. That's basically my process.
Okay. Thank you for sharing your process. Now we know that good stories are relatable. It's what connects your brand to the target audience, as you have talked about. It what makes them go, wow, that's for me. That toy bicycle or toy car was made specially for me. I can relate to that example, whatever that example may be. For you, what is the role of storytelling in your content strategy? How do you use storytelling in your content strategy?
Okay. Okay, so storytelling is key to passing a memorable message.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that because think about the last book or the last movie or the last conversation that you had with a person that you remember. It's because that story was interesting, it was engaging. So there were things, or the communication between, or the interaction between you and that story did something to you. So I would say storytelling is important in content marketing because people want to be able to relate to stuff. People want to be able to, connect. So for instance, you are, selling a service or a product. You don't want to make it boring.
Now, this is for you. For you. It's your content strategy.
Okay, I don't want to make it boring.
Okay.
I don't want to make it boring. I want to be able to put out content in a way that, like you said, is relatable. And before getting to that point where I am putting out relatable content, I first need to connect it to who I am putting out that content for.
True.
So whatever the message is, it can only be compelling if it is a relatable narrative. For instance, if I'm talking about the bicycle, the toy bicycle, for instance, I would share a story about, obviously I'm selling to a kid.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about how, having that bicycle would make him the coolest kid in his class.
Oh, shit.
How he gets to be the only one be the only one out of 100 people to have that bicycle. I mean, everybody wants to be his friend.
Yeah.
And then, there's just a lot of ways that storytelling comes into content marketing. Because now, away from selling to a child, the human brain, how the human brain works, it is logical but emotional as well.
Word.
It is logical but it's emotional as well. Logical in the sense that as much as we as people are emotional and work based on emotions, we want to still see facts, data, all of that to drive our decision. So storytelling is something that creates that balance in the human brain. It can tap into the emotional side, and then data and stats can also tap into the logical side. So for another example for how I use storytelling, I would say is, instead of explaining a product feature and just putting it out there with all the industry jargon, everything, I will narrate it in a way that I show you in layman's terms how this product can solve your problem using characters, using scenarios that the audience or the readers can identify with. I want to create a narrative that allows the reader, put themselves in the shoes of the story I'm telling, and then they say, you know what, I had this problem, or I have this problem that I'm reading currently, and this is the solution to it, and then automatically that relatability is what brings the connection. So it's basically just transforming complex concepts into a relatable narratives and create a connection with the audience instead of bombarding them with technical details. Just weaving stories that illustrate the real world impact of the technology that I'm trying to sell them. And in turn, storytelling, everybody will be engaged with a good story. That's why I asked you, think about the last time you read an interesting book or a movie, or you had a conversation with somebody. As far as you're engaged, you will remember and you will read to the bottom. You will read to the end, and you will now finally do what we want you to do, or what I want you to do in that case. I incorporate storytelling by just framing content as a journey, showing the readers, I know that this is where you are right now, and I know that you want to get there, and this is how you're going to get there. And just weave it in a very interesting way, using things that they are interested in. That is why research comes in.
Okay. Have you seen any of the Hunger Games?
Yes, I have.
Okay. I can use that as an example then. In the Hunger Games, every year, tributes are selected from each of the districts, right? And they go on to fight to death. Now, even though only one person survives, the story or the journey of that tribute, the story they act out, or their life story basically during the Hunger Games, makes you root for them. Now, whether they're going to survive or not, you have no idea. It's a thing of chance. But storytelling in that case lets you root for any of those tributes from the district. It's even the same thing in Big Brother Naija or Big Brother Africa, any of them. You don't know who is going to win, but the power of storytelling, as you have said, it makes you root for that person because you can relate easily to their character. Just to add more point to what you said.
I was going to add that I think the trick of storytelling is to look from the consumer or the customer perspective.
Exactly.
So you need to just maybe take a pause, ask yourself, if I were this person, what would I want to see? Or what would I relate to if I had this sort of problem, or if I needed this sort of solution? What would I be able to relate to better? All right then. I want to get a bit personal here. Everyone has a client acquisition method. Some people rely on
hiring managers finding them, either from a blog post that they wrote, or some people even rely on building a personal brand on social media. They post things they can do for a particular brand. Others rely on cold email. And you've written about how to write the perfect cold email. I enjoyed that article, by the way. What method moves the needle the most for you?
Okay, so I just thought back to that article that you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
There was a point when I was sending a lot of cold emails. And let me add that cold emailing is not for the faint of heart.
Exactly.
At a point, I had to let that go because I mean, like, there were other ways that I could get my clients, so I had to let cold emailing go.
Yeah.
But one thing I would say that over time, since the start of my career up until now, has brought me clients is brand visibility.
Hey.
And yes, it's brand visibility. I've gotten clients from LinkedIn. I've gotten clients from Twitter most especially.
Wow.
And funny thing is, all the times that it has happened, it's been, oh, okay, let me just, put out something, and all of a sudden someone is reaching out to me through that post or through that thread or content. So I would say what works for me really well is putting myself out there, sharing as much as I can, sharing, giving out my knowledge, putting out value, sharing my work process, just building everything that you can think about when
building your personal brand on social media.
Yeah, everything you can think about when you build your personal brand. Yeah.
Okay.
So building my personal brand has really helped me get clients. And this year, it's one of the things that I'm very intentional about, something that I have really committed to, because over time, I wasn't really serious with it. I mean, I had my clients, but then I would, put out content here and there to, just stay relevant or, stay at the top of the minds of my clients. But right now, it's even more personal because I'm committed to building and being vulnerable and sharing as I go. And I am finding that the more I put myself out there, the more I share, the more I'm vulnerable about my growth and my processes, the more I learn, the more I connect, the more I build more meaningful relationships. And another thing I would say is, as I build my personal brand, my connections grow. And it doesn't even have to be a direct client reaching out to me through my content. It might even be a connection, referring me. And this has happened a number of times.
Yeah.
A connection referring me, or, just hitting me up and saying, oh, I know you posted this on your social media the other day. I have someone that's looking for this, or I have someone that needs this. And I mean, why not go all in?
All right then.
Yeah.
Earlier, you mentioned...
Go on.
All right. When you were talking about how you keep track of your creativity, you mentioned using Notion, your notepad, physical notepads too.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned Promodo for your time management.
Yeah.
Besides all of these tools, what other tools do you use day to day as part of your workflow? Google Calendar. Okay.
Yeah. Funny thing is, I started to use Google Calendar a lot more recently. Google Calendar it helps me manage my time. It helps me keep track of my week, my month.
Yeah.
It just puts everything in front of me.
Yeah.
Then there's Google Doc.
Obviously.
There's Google Doc. And I mentioned Notion earlier. I mentioned the Pomodoro timer, and then there is ChatGPT.
Okay.
At first when ChatGPT came about, I didn't understand it then, but it is part of the tools that I use daily now because it makes my workflow easier.
Yeah.
It's like an assistant, because there are things that I would spend time doing that I could easily just, prompt ChatGPT to do for me, and I use the rest of my time to do something more creative and something better.
Yeah.
So I have Google Docs, ChatGPT, Notion, Google Calendar, and Pomodoro timer.
Okay. Winding down, what are some successes and accomplishments along your marketing career journey in the past 3 years?
First, I would say for the last 3 years, I've been a generalist. So I have been working with, different industries, working on different products or projects.
Yeah.
But I would say the one time that I saw very clear, visible growth in my career was in 2023.
Money.
Funny thing is, it was more of the fulfillment and personal growth, because all the other years, yes, I did have work. I was making money. My service year was really nice. Service year was the year where I was working with a lot of people. That was the first time I got paid in foreign currency. I was in my NYSC house and counting my money. I'm like, if I can make this work. But then I don't think there was the fulfillment and the personal growth that I got in 2023. It was just a lot. It was just a lot. So last year I co-authored a book. I co-authored a global marketing book titled Inside the Marketer's Room. It's a book filled with insights from over 50 leading marketers all over the world. Funny thing is, when year started, it wasn't something that I saw happening, but I would say it is one of my highest achievements as a content marketer so far.
Proud of you.
Do you get it? Thank you. I still kind of believe that I wrote a book with the most amazing, brilliant women, marketers, team members. Joining this Marketers Hub really brought this growth to my career, really impacted me in so many ways. Pushed me outside.
Shout out to Marketers Hub.
Shout out to Marketers Hub and my amazing team. Marketers Hub, joining Marketers Hub really made a very big impact in my career. Okay, so before I joined Marketers Hub, I'd worked all these years and I wasn't really feeling that fulfillment, that, contentment with my job and the value that I was given. It wasn't there.
Yeah.
So when I reached out to my manager, our founder, Aisha Owolabi,
okay,
I had in mind that, I wanted to do valuable work. I wanted to do good work. And the idea behind Marketers Hub, it was just something I wanted to be a part of. And she gave me a chance, which is something that I'm really grateful for. So my first month working with Marketers Hub, what I'm going to say now is something that actually blew my mind. The team decided to go with a multi-channel strategy. So I am the community manager handling X.
Twitter, please. Twitter. I refuse to call Twitter X. I refuse.
Do you know, I always add that disclaimer. I always add that part where I say X, formerly known as Twitter. But yeah, I'm the community manager handling Twitter. And in my first month, when we started to go with the multi-channel strategy, I planned and executed a multi-channel marketing strategy that increased organic traffic by 517%. Impressions went from 39.1k to 213k in a month.
Wow.
First of all, I'm like, how? My manager said, I've seen what you can do when you are passionate about something.
Yeah.
And that alone made me, just stand on the decision that moving forward, I would only do stuff that
you're passionate about.
That I'm passionate about, things that I align with, things that align with my goal.
Okay.
And no matter what I find myself doing, I would do it so well. I will put in my best. Like my manager would say, I would commit to competence.
God, when?
Then another thing I would say is a success or an accomplishment along my writing career journey is the fact that I've gotten to collaborate with diverse teams and create meaningful connections. my team members are so brilliant. We have the team lead, Etashe, who's like the most brilliant writer and marketer that you would find. And there is Gifts. Oh my God, when I joined the team, her growth is so impressive. And there is my manager, Aisha. Just working with the three of them, you cannot not help but do the work and also shine.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, I wouldn't have gotten access to these people if I wasn't on this path, this writing career journey. And also, in general, my writing journey over time, I've come to discover that has made me know myself even deeply, like more. Has made me know myself more.
Yeah.
Writing is a way that over time I've always just been able to express myself with. I keep a journal, so I share a lot, and I keep a journal, so I'm always writing about one thing or the other. It just helped me bring my thoughts to life. It helps me understand everything that goes on in my head. The one thing that I am enthusiastic about, or the one thing that I preach about, that I stand by, is once you know yourself, every other thing follows.
Yeah.
You need to know self, and I am grateful that writing is the one medium that helps me do that well.
Okay. Cheers to more successes and accomplishments.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right. In the same vein, what are some career mistakes that you've made along your career journey, and what lessons did you learn from them?
Number one, everything is not about money.
Okay.
I mean, like, money is important.
Definitely.
Yeah, very important, I know. But at the same time, as you're making money, you need to like think about the other aspects of your life and the value that you are bringing. Yes, you're making money, but what's the impact that you're also making?
Yeah,
that's very important. You get money, you chop the money, you spend it. Money will finish. Do you get? But at the same time, how do you feel about the work that you are doing? So as much as you're thinking about the money, also be intentional about the value that you are providing or that you are giving. One thing, the mistake I made when I started my career was I was so focused on making the money that I was taking up different clients, I was taking up any projects. I was doing a lot of, work as far as it was just, do what you're paying me to do, and, I'm getting paid. But the fulfillment, the happiness, the feeling that I'm providing value or doing something that aligns to me was taking something from me as well. As much as it was putting something in my bank account, it was also taking something from me. And I mean, you can get both.
Yeah.
The truth is, you can get both. You can get the money, and you can also provide value and feel fulfilled in your work.
Okay.
Then another mistake I would say is not documenting my journey.
Yeah.
It was only recently that I started to, document my work, document my journey. And that was a very big mistake, because documenting your journey would allow you look back at where you are coming from, and see your growth. It will allow you learn from mistakes. It will allow you know what's working, what you can double down on, and what you can just, scrap, rather than doing everything all at once and no way to even measure your growth or measure your efforts, nothing. So I would say, don't be like me. Document your journey.
Document your journey
as early as you can. Then this one is very personal and very recent as well.
Okay.
One mistake I made was being a generalist for too long. I mean, like, everybody's journey is different, so if you want to be a generalist it's left to you. But I would say it's a mistake on my part, because now that I decided to niche down, I can already see my progress. Now that I decided to commit to one thing, I can already see how far I'm going to go, or how far I've already even come, just by niching down. Another mistake I made was not actively making connections.
Yep. No one is an island.
Yes, no one is an island. And trust me, you need community. You need connections. You need to put yourself out there. You need to connect to people. You need to be helpful to people so that in turn, people can also show up for you when you need them to.
Yeah.
I belong to a women's only group on WhatsApp. It's the Ojekudo collective. It's for women in tech. It's an accountability group where, you get support from fellow minds and you connect with people all over the world, and you get help when you need it, and you help people when they need your help as well.
Okay.
And then my Twitter community, I met you on Twitter.
Yeah.
Funny, I met you on Twitter. I remember putting out a tweet and you commenting, and look, we're in the studio right now recording a session. This is what connection can do.
Yeah.
This is what connection can do. Like, you need to be intentional about connecting with people so that you're able to grow.
Yeah, grow fast.
Grow fast and grow well. So those are like the 4 mistakes and the things I've learned from them.
All right then. Now, you brought scotch to the studio and I have my red wine over here. But you once told me that you love red sweet wines.
Yeah.
You described them as super sexy. And you said you drink white wine when you're feeling bougie.
Yeah.
Has that taste changed? Do you still love red wine?
Can I ever stop loving wine?
Red wine. Emphasis on red wine.
Can I ever stop? Oh, no, I mean like red wine, white wine. I love wine.
Okay.
But like I told you earlier, it depends on how I'm feeling. It really does depend on how I'm feeling. I know that I'm always getting a bottle of red wine for myself.
Okay.
And, I just know I love wine and it's not going to stop anytime. I even want to just get to the point where I'm able to really pursue it and go for wine tasting,
Yeah.
walk around and do bougie shit.
All right then. Speaking of wine tasting and bougie shit, if you could have a glass of wine with any marketing professional, past or present, who would it be and why?
Okay, I would have a glass of wine with my manager and the founder of Marketers Hub, Aisha Owolabi.
Okay.
For a lot of reasons.
All right.
This is not the top reason, but I would say she's in the UK. I'm in the UK, so why not? And okay, then the important reasons. Aisha is a force. She is an inspirational woman and she's a leader. Okay. I don't think I've worked with anybody that she's the kind of person that you meet and you are prompted to do a self-reflection and in a good way. She has this energy and she relates with you in a way that she shows you that there are possibilities. You can be more, you can do more, and you are capable. And that's the kind of energy that I vibe with. And I'm just so grateful that I have this access to her, that I'm able to tap from her knowledge, that I'm able to work hand in hand with her, that I'm able to, apply myself with her guardians. And she's a really cool babe. She's a really cool babe. And she seems like the kind of person that is adventurous and just wants to chop life and enjoy life. And I subscribe to that.
Shout out to Aisha then.
Yeah, she's an amazing marketer. Yeah.
Where can we go to learn more about Praise?
Okay. My 2 favorite channels to be on is Twitter. I wanted to mention LinkedIn first, but no, Twitter first. Twitter. I love Twitter.
Okay.
I love Twitter. Apart from the fact that I'm able to work and learn on the platform. It's just a really chill platform. I mean, people say it's toxic and all of that, but I've never been on the toxic side of Twitter. Yeah, I love Twitter. Then you can find me on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Send jobs if you're listening to this.
What's your name? What's your name on both platforms? On Twitter and
Praise Ojekudo.
Okay. And on LinkedIn?
Praise Ojekudo.
Okay.
Then you can find me on Instagram as well. I love Instagram because I'm able to create stuff that isn't about work on there.
Yeah, personal life content.
So yeah, I'm a content creator too, so you can check me out on Instagram. Follow me. I'm sure you'll like my content. You like my shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can find me on those 3 places.
Thank you so much for coming on this podcast, Praise. See, I told you were going to kill it. I told you were going to do so well.
Thank you, Nee. I've been having fun.
Yeah, you didn't even know the time was over an hour already.
Do you know, I thought, okay, to be that question and answer session, kind of like I'm only hot seat.
Never.
But
never.
the way you were weaving everything together, it felt so relaxing.
Thank you.
And this is a really good first time.
Thank you. I'm glad I was able to make your first experience very good then.
Yes, you did. Thank you. And I'm so grateful. Thank you for reaching out to me.
And thank you for responding.
Thank you for encouraging me to be here.
Yeah.
I mean, I said I was committed to growth. So even if it was scary and all of that, I still needed to.
You did so well. You did really well.
Thank you.
Well done. And thank you once again. Have a lovely day over there. I think it's just noon around your time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have a lovely day over there. And take care of yourself.
You too. See you on the timeline.
See you on the timeline. Bye for now.
Yourself. Bye for now.
Thanks for joining me on this episode of Marketing Over Wine. To listen to more career stories of marketing professionals around the world, subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or any podcast app of your choice. Or simply visit marketingoverwine.com to stay up to date.